welcome to this week's Kids Church Mindful Moment. I hope that if you don't have an opportunity to connect with your community of faith this week, that this is a chance for you to explore your faith and to explore your relationship with God, with yourself, and with others. This week is known as Christian Family Sunday. You might also know it as Mother's Day. It's a chance for us to lift up those who walk with us through this life and help us and support us and give us strength and resilience and creativity and love and forgiveness and grace. The scripture that we are using is not so much a story. This week it is a poem. For some people it might be a poem you've heard before. The poem you can read here is Psalm 23. And it talks about how God is like a shepherd to us, but a shepherd who walks with us and protects us and cares for us and leads us to the things that we need to feed our body and to be healthy and saves us from the things that may cause us harm. The poem was written by a person who was going through hard times and lots of challenges and needed to remember that they weren't alone through all those challenges. So I wonder who walks with you through your challenging times? Who helps to fill up your heart when you're feeling sad? Who helps you to come up with solutions when you're having problems? Who helps to just hold you and be with you when you're feeling lonely? In this poem, we see God as a shepherd, as a person who does that for the person writing the poem. But God is in all. God is in everyone. And so we might not see God as a person with us in those times that are challenging. We might see God in the other people who are with us during that time. Maybe that's your friend or a parent or a family friend or a teacher. Maybe it's just somebody on the street who, in that moment when you're feeling sad, happens to smile and wish you a happy day. God is in all those moments, reminding us, knocking at the door to say, hey, you're not alone. You are never alone. There's always God here, and God showing up through all different ways. So for our mindful moment this week, we want to create something that will help us to be mindful of all the places that we might find support and love and a family that holds us up. And it might not be your family. It might be people that you have chosen to be part of your family. We are going to create a tree, a family tree. Now, maybe you've done a family tree before where you have your name and then your parents' names and then your grandparents' names. We're going to do a different kind of family tree. We're going to do a creative one. And on the branches of our tree, we're going to put all the people that we know who help us to be us, who help us to love more, who help us to know more, who help us to be resilient, who help us to be creative, and who help us to not feel lonely. So, come, let's get creative and make this family tree together. The supplies for our craft this week are super simple. We need one piece of colored paper, a pen and a ruler, and then some things to decorate our tree with later. I have some different colored hearts and some glue. Maybe you have stickers or ribbons or markers, whatever you can find to decorate your tree. Step 1 is to trace our hand. Our hand is going to be the base of our tree. If you can find somebody to help you trace it, that will be easier. I'm just going to trace around my left hand and placing it so my top fingers are at the very top of the page, and all the way down I'm going to trace my wrist in as well, and then I'm going to go around all my fingers. So all of our trees are going to look very different, and they're going to be completely unique to us. Now that I have my hand there, I actually want to create a base so that my tree can stand up. So this is where my ruler comes in, and I'm going to place my ruler, I'm going to put it at the base of my wrist. And then I'm going to draw a line across here. Now, there are different places where you can put your ruler and trace this line. Because as I said, all our hands are going to look different. Some will be shorter hands, some will be longer. You want about, maybe a thumb width of space between the bottom of your page and the top of that line so that you have a solid base. So that might mean that you have more of a trunk if your wrist comes up, or you might have, like me, more of a bush, and that's okay too. So now that I have my hand traced and the line across, I'm going to cut this out. Here it is. Here's the base, and here is my tree. Now on my tree, I want to think of people who are part of the tree that helps me to feel like I'm never alone. I'm going to put God right here in the middle. Okay, God's not really a person, but God is part of me not feeling alone. And then I'm going to add other names as well. So I've kind of added categories because there are so many people who are important in my life. So I've got siblings and parents and kids and friends, and I've got Alex and I've got God. Maybe you want to name individuals. Maybe you want to just put grandparents or parents and do categories like me. Maybe you want to fill up the fingers and the hand more than that. Do whatever feels good to remind yourself of all the people in your life that help you to never be alone. So my next step is to turn my base into a circle so that it will be able to hold my tree up. I could glue this closed, I could use a stapler, or we could just use some tape. That's what I'm going to use today. And you'll see I am leaving the names on the inside of my tree, and then I'm going to decorate the outside of my tree. You could do it the other way around if you want. You could turn the base and have all the words facing outside. So now the last step is to decorate my tree. I'm going to add some glue, and I'm going to add my hearts to look as though they are leaves on my tree. And then we'll be all done with my beautiful, mindful family tree, reminding me that I am never alone. There are lots of people in my life to support me and love me and help me. Well, here it is. Here's our beautiful family tree, different from a traditional family tree. This is a tree that reminds us who the shepherds are in our life. Who are the people who walk with us through our hard times? Who are the people who fill our hearts? Who are the people who help us problem solve? I would love to see pictures of your beautiful shepherd family trees. How did you decorate your tree? What did you make it look like? And who are the people that you include on the inside? Who are the people who hold up that tree and make it bloom as beautifully as it does? I hope that this mindful tree helps you to remember you are never alone. In all times, God is with you. Whether you find God through the people who are around you, or you find God outside in nature, or you find God in music or in dance, may you always know God is there in all of those moments. And we just have to be prepared to experience God, to open our hearts, to remember we're not alone, and to allow ourselves to not be alone. May you go, my friends, with a blessing on your heart, both for yourself as a reminder of your walk with God, and as a gift that you may offer to others. May there be love in your heart to give. May there be joy in your heart to share. And may there be courage in your heart to lift others up. See ya!